MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by The Deceased.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. And today is a gosh darn humdinger. This is it. This is the one. I may have said it before, but this right here is some wild-ish. You guys have no idea what you're in for. We didn't have any idea what we were in for. Mateo today said, hey, if you guys want, there is a Titanic cartoon.
I'm awfully sorry.
An Italian
Titanic cartoon
I didn't mean to.
called
God, just hearing the words.
La Polizia Indaga called Titanic Leggero Continuado, which roughly translates to Titanic with floppier titties.
No, I sincerely hope not. Thank you.
Titanic, The Legend Goes On. That's the title.
You would think we had a couple, we've discovered our Enzos.
What's up?
And we had message in a cell phone, which seems downright normal.
Give me that. That's my phone, kid.
We've had some other things, but this was genuinely mind-blowing. Sometimes you think you've seen a poor Disney movie and you're like, wow, it's tired, it doesn't have imagination.
First time you've been pulled over?
Yes, sir. And hopefully the last.
That's good. I'll let you off with a warning this time. But be careful.
Yes, sir.
Be careful.
I usually am. $100? This ticket is your fault, and you're paying for it.
Not the whole thing. I'll pay half.
Fine.
I feel like right now you could put on any Disney movie and I would want to fillet the ghost of Walt.
We just watched like 7. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Matthew, as usual when we watch a flaming turd, I want you to kick off what this is, what the plot was, how they raped 17 Disney movies, and just try to walk the people through what just happened to us, which I think is a hate crime against decency and Italians.
So it's the classic shit.
That's it.
Tongue
Night.
twister. It's the classic shit.
You're wrong.
They took this story from Cameron's Titanic and flipped it by making Rose poor and Jack rich.
Brilliant.
And then they took 17 Disney films and ripped different parts from them. Then took some Warner Brothers cartoons and ripped some parts from them.
And Don Bluth
threw them into a blender together.
We got 5-0 Goes West. We got Monterey Jack. We got 101 Dalmatians. We got Ratatouille. We got
the Aristocats.
The Aristocats.
We got Gaston.
We got Gaston.
Cinderella.
Beast, Cinderella. 101 Dalmatians.
Anastasia.
Anastasia, alive.
Who is carrying, what was it? Carrying my heirs?
She's about to present me with some heirs.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, the Dalmatian says, out of the doorway, you're carrying some heirs for me.
Out of the picture, you're about to present me with some heirs.
Like, they never said pregnant or babies or puppies or,
Nope.
like, was it because, like, censorship? Because it was 2001. So why do you keep, it was just awkward translation. The little weird translation.
Yes.
I'm glad we'll intersperse
it's
clips
awful.
because this is,
I couldn't help hearing what you said.
like, for instance, message in the cell phone makes sense. We picked it up intentionally to laugh at a low-grade production. In the end, it's serviceable enough for a dollar binge, straight to whatever. You know, it makes sense. It follows a through line. We laugh because it's poorly done. This is just, who is this for?
3 years in the making. 3 years.
3 years in the making.
Come in.
It was those swooping panorama shots around
Yes,
the boat.
they spent the first year figuring out how to do the Titanic, the camera around the Titanic.
It was a locket that her long-lost mother gave her. Then...
My question is, what is this like next to the infamous food fight, which we didn't do for the show, but shockingly we watched for our own pleasure?
I think pleasure is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Food fight is more technically incompetent, but I almost feel like the story was okay. The food worlds are combining.
Yeah, follow me and watch the tail.
Oh, I'm so excited. Look at the table. I was stuck in the mud. It's so disgusting.
Oh, excuse me.
Everything about this just...
It's, I think food fight is more ugly and gross.
Yes, it's visually offensive.
Yes.
May I help you?
You must be Leonard, the manager.
And just blocky and rigid and bare bones, like animatic, as opposed to any sort of, let's work on these characters. Like, no, we're done. They're done. It's going out to print.
It's interesting when you see something so poor, you can get used to a certain level of quality. And like I've never, you know, Matthew, you've delved more into animation. But I'm thinking here of a couple months back, because of the beef going on with the Jackass crew, Bam Margera released a rap track.
But I love Steve-O big time. But man, fuck them all. Especially Tremaine, he's a greedy fat fucking pussy who made us sign a contract that everybody could get hurt except him.
And when that came out, I was like, you see, Mateo, I know people that don't like rap think rap is just talking. But when I heard that Bam track, the dude is just speaking over the beat in a way that made every other rapper on earth suddenly ratchet up in competency. Similarly here, I almost feel like I was given a lesson, no joke, into what animation was, because to my layman's brain, all of a sudden you see crossed eyes, jerky movements, shadows that look like skin diseases, slow tracking things, and all of a sudden you just...
Briefcases that appear from nowhere.
Briefcases that replicate as you're picking them up, door handles that appear as you're going to grab them, and it just really makes you appreciate the craft. But again, this premiered on Italian TV?
It was theatrical.
It was theatrical.
I would rather be on the actual Titanic than having been swindled into taking the kids to this on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, let's say you go see Paw Patrol, and it's professionally produced and looks slick, but you still want to just cave your temple in with the claw end of a hammer throughout. Can you imagine being an Italian parent, working like 60 hours a week, trying to take care of your family, and the kids are like, we want to see Titanic. The legend continues on Saturday. Can you take us, Papa?
What does that even mean? How can the legend continue if legend hasn't happened yet? The legend is that the boat sunk.
And I just picture the airplane scene where he's like, I hope I didn't bore you with that story, and the feet are dangling. The lights come up and all the parents have hung themselves. All the kids have slashed their wrists.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Oh, mais faites attention, quoi!
Okay, serious question. All joking aside, legitimately, can you imagine any family member, kid or adult? I can't, like you said, who is this for? I can't picture anyone enjoying this.
I don't understand the process that went behind it to decide to make a cartoon about Titanic.
Let's keep
and
it like
that to capitalize on that
fame. Sure, but still.
Well, it does make sense. Think about
later.
it. They said there's a 3 years of work. 97 was Titanic. What, 2001 was this? It kind of perfectly...
yeah.
Quick, get on it now! 3 years later.
What's happening in New York?
Yeah, because at least...
the company also followed this up with an animated 9/11 movie after.
Oh, and by the way, the story is, there is the Titanic, there are some jewel thieves on it.
Several jewel
thieves. We are introduced to 20 characters who are shuffled with a magician's deck flare.
We forget the names. Instantly, there is a clumsy inspector who is after them.
Yeah, to try to...
apparently he doesn't get anybody.
There's our main girl, her stepsisters, and her evil stepmom.
Yes.
There's the lovable love interest.
There is William and Angelica, who are the two protagonists, and there is a bunch of anthropomorphic animals like mice, cats, dogs,
Mexican mice,
Mexican mice, seagulls, squirrel.
Yeah.
And the movie goes on. At a certain point,
it is so slow.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, look what we can do with animation. Like, no, you don't want to focus on that.
Well, I very quickly...
No, but then they vaguely miss the iceberg, which appears out of nowhere. The boat sinks, and the movie has the audacity of ending with...
Well, here's hoping they'll all live happily ever after. Bye for now, and see you soon.
Well, you guys remember okay, we forgot something. Every moment we've mentioned is not as mind-blowing as one moment, which I think you guys actually forgot with how much they threw at us. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I'm curious. Matthew? Mateo? Do you remember the moment I think you've actually forgotten that is the most mind-blowing?
The dog does a rap song.
Better stop it if you're breathing. Fists here this time for reason, cause instead of being a hero, you might become a zero. It's no confusion, no illusion. Out on the sea, so amusing. A special trip, so we best get started. Hardy, party, party, hardy. You, no, me, you, me, you, me. Yes. All of you will bring the goodies, mini cakes and mini cookies, tasty steaks and hot salamis, juicy cheese with the capital C. You all. Who, us? You all. Us? You all. Yes.
You forgot, didn't you? Now...
Oh my God, the Casio keyboard that made this soundtrack is just painful, and they used that to make the beat.
Droning Casio keyboard, low synth notes. Now, as soon as I saw the cliche rapping dog, which as a hip-hop fan, I should say, for what's going on here, the flow is at least ambitious, because with this type of production, I feel like it'd be like, yo, we're on the Titanic. Why don't we have a picnic? It's not a great rap, but it is
brilliant. Let's give it for the sequel.
It's an ambitious flow for what this thing is. But once I saw the rapping dog, friggin' Poochie from when Homer becomes a cartoon.
I don't think you use the word ambitious when the thing's complete, you know?
Once I saw the rapping dog, I was like, what the hell is it going to be like when we have our actual disaster? True to form, the disaster of the Titanic sinking is captured within like 2 minutes and then brushed off as we go back to like wacky hijinks
no real
of
big deal.
Jasper and Horace like making goofy faces and the captain whining. It's like over like that. And then, as you said, they have the audacity to be like, and everyone lived happily ever after. Are we to assume that every main character...
But they also say whoever owned the Dalmatians, Molly...
And the Dalmatians and their children, who were taken in by William and Angelica after having lost their beloved mistress, Molly.
And, like, wait, lost her, like, died on the ship?
Yeah.
Or was she the one that went to prison? Who owned... I forget who owned the dogs in the beginning.
I forgot completely.
The rich lady who was trying to con the rich man?
When we talk shit about an asylum movie that's just Jason having fun, we understand it's a business model. We understand as Mateo is broken down, they sell them to a bunch of countries.
I mean, that's what this is.
They make a tidy profit. An asylum movie moves to its own language, which may be horrific, but it's like, hey, this is how things operate here. This is...
I have to stay here?
Do you...
It would be a whacking party, so come with me. Come on, everybody. You remember it forever. The one on board has had it better. Look out for Fritz.
Who did they sell this to? Who was satisfied with their result? How did you get this thing? Okay, we watched The Amazing Bulk, and no joke, it was the moment when we all kind of looked at each other and went, guys, I think we can pull off making a movie.
Look out! Lisa!
Any struggling filmmaker should watch this and they will feel like they are Christ in the flesh with Emperor Palpatine lightning shooting from their fingertips. If this thing can get a theatrical release, even if it was one showing on one day, who is this for? Who made this? Who gave the okay that it was going to be put out? How is this the result of 3 years of work? What was the idea? Did they make money? Did they sell it to people? This, like, an asylum movie makes so much sense compared to this. Message in a cell phone makes so much sense compared to this. Enzo makes so much sense compared to this.
Okay, calm down. Calm down. You're spitting out a lot of venom right now.
What is this? Did one person enjoy this? What was the box office gross? How long was it in there? Was it 3 years because they didn't have the means, so they were just trying to cheaply produce it? Was anyone delighted walking out of the theater?
Okay, character.
I think this takes the cake in 76 episodes, including this one, and 12, I think, scraps, as the most mind-blowing thing I have witnessed. It is vulgar, it is weird, it is cheap, it is ill-informed, it is slow-moving, it is terrible, it is bizarre, it is head-scratching, it is tonally clashing, it is unpleasant, it is slow-moving. It has no entertainment value other than the fact that it probably does, and I contradict myself because I was cackling with laughter throughout, but taken at face value, there is zero entertainment value. I don't understand what Italian mofo What?
I mean,
sick,
there are just
twisted.
as bad as American productions that produce. Everything's trying to do the knockoff Disney, especially around this time too.
Yeah.
They're trying to pull off that style without having the expertise and the ability in animators to actually pull it off.
Right, when you keep.
So it just looks clunky, and on top of that, it seems like you're actually trying to overact with animated characters.
Yes.
Like everyone is just, let me come through this door.
Hey, this way. I guess we.
It's the dude from the Giallo featurette.
I had many lovers.
In fact, in the River Po, there were often the bodies of many dead soldiers. Madam, it seems dangerous to talk with you.
Sir, good evening.
And it just makes for that
Also
much
similar
more
type
of
of over vocal tones.
Yeah, it kind of makes up for it. But then again, there's also people like it's not even like you can't hear what they're saying. It's like they're saying half words.
Oh, so
but they're not being cut off by the audio. They're just speaking
the loops.
The loops too.
I
yeah,
cannot tell you guys how many times I genuinely thought the movie was skipping, because I think the most insane example is.
You can't go through this way. Don't force me to resort to violence. You can't go through this way. Don't force me to resort to violence. Don't force me to resort to violence. You can't go through this way.
Don't force me to use violence. Wait, it's not going to flip it. Don't force me to use violence. You can't come through here. In a way that sounds the comedic, the record skipping with the comedy language.
They even have the scene where the evil stepsisters break the teacup on purpose, and the stepmother, godmother, whatever, make her clean it up, and they just start to kind of make fun of her and taunt her. But it's almost like in the sense of like she'd have to be the way the vocals start to echo almost sounds like, okay, is
Well,
she
first of all, it
dreaming?
doesn't
Is she
echo
having an
at
acid
all.
flashback?
Yeah, it doesn't echo at all at first, and so
Yeah.
it looks like
She just says it twice, and then it starts to have some kind of effect on it. And like, wait, what is this? That's not, if they were just standing there in the room with her, that's not how you do it.
Pick up those bits of broken china at once. Then mend and iron our clothes so we can attend the reception to welcome us aboard. In any case, you can't come. You can't come. You've nothing to wear. Nothing to wear. No one's going to lend you anything.
Nothing to wear, and no one's going to lend you anything.
It's very weird, and apparently, from what I found out, there are two versions in English about this movie. One which is being re-edited for the American market, and one who has been simply shortened to 58 minutes.
Oh, why do we want that one?
And then
You didn't tell me that was an option.
I couldn't find it. And then there are 12 minutes of
What was
closing.
it, 70 minutes?
This one is 77, yes, something like that. 79 with the closing credits.
Dude, the Titanic crashing is just brushed off, and also we should say, again, I don't want you guys, we'll hopefully show the clip, but I want you guys to know
Hopefully.
that they look at a sea of little icebergs like that, and cut to the next shot, and there was a big iceberg again.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Look at that! What, you never seen mist before?
That's not just ice.
Hello? Hello? There's an iceberg right in our path!
Thanks. Iceberg, dead ahead.
Because they're like, first, like, oh, what, you've never seen mist before, you idiot?
Yes.
Like, oh, wait, that's just normal ice. Like, oh my god, and there's just this...
Shark Attack 3. I think that's them over there. And they're like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
This one is like, it just appears. And then they go to the side of it, and these mofos literally have a chunk plop onto the deck.
Plus, you
and
don't
then they're
show
like,
the-
oh no, we're destroyed.
You don't
And-
show the boat getting ripped apart by the iceberg whatsoever on the outside. You eventually see water pouring into the inside.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
yeah,
in
the walls of break.
fairness, the subterranean could have
No,
scraped,
of
but-
course. That's like what actually happened, right?
Yeah, but it was.
So this actually happened?
It was ripped lengthwise by the iceberg.
Jesus Christ!
Instead here, it looks like that the walls just like give in all at once.
Yeah, because they just bust.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. They're sleeping so peacefully. Let's find out what's happening first.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Oigan, vengan aquí, así es en mi país. Es una fiesta grande para los amigos.
The animals are having their party down there.
Yes,
because they're the peasants of the lower class, and they have to have their dance party.
This movie fails so much that I saw we had a group of talking animals. And my pathetic ass was like, oh no, is it going to be hypersensitivity when the animals die? And then the animals, I mean, none of them died, but they start flooding. I'm like, oh, like they're just not able to, I mean, I guess a little sad when that cat was underwater. But
everything's just really ugly and just drawn ugly.
Yes. It's unpleasant.
It's just unpleasant.
Well, again,
the cat has some weird bags or like mascara on his eyes.
Yes.
I think it's interesting as a layman to animation because
more like a.
I was really. I remember at work once that I was ringing up someone and they were like, "Hey, I did the character design for Mutant Mayhem," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
He just said that willingly, just
while we were
offered you
talking
that.
about turtles.
Oh.
Do you know who I am? That poster, this face, character design, popcorn now, you useless. Character design, clearly there so that you don't look at these things and want to vomit from your eyeballs.
But well, character design and having to animate those characters are two completely different.
Yeah, because at the end when they are the
that's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly.
They don't look as bad.
No, because they are standing still. The moment
I got an idea. You know that end part looks a lot better.
I
Go
mean,
with
it's
me.
literally like taking a character and just jiggling like a rag doll, just here in front of the camera.
What it was terrible, it was that they were trying to do the shadow around the face and the shoulder, and it looks like a rash,
5 sons.
Skin diseases. So there is all this attempt at shadow that it looks like that half the characters had peed their pants, or the
because I'm guessing the shadow was digital.
Probably.
It seemed to have that kind of almost like fuzzy
effect. But they didn't know exactly how to
place their attractor.
Yes.
Well, again, let's think it through. What I'm curious about is, are you just in a mad, desperate dash? The company has taken on this project for some reason, and you're like, it looks fine, get it out. But with a product like this, is everyone involved just like whatever? There's a due date, or how do you
checking this?
Friggin', it's just
you have the deadline. That's when they're going to see it. That's all I care.
The only thing that I admire, and it's a big word, but it's true, every single human has 5 fingers.
Okay.
Top of the poster. One thing I admire, every single human has 5 fingers. Richard Roper.
It's a losing battle. Trying to teach you how to work properly.
Because usually a lot of almost every single character has 4 fingers.
So, Cisco, what do you have to say positive? Well, I counted 5 on every one, baby, so that's starting point. That's very indicative of what this movie was.
Yes. That is the only thing that I actually genuinely was impressed about. The music is subpar, and I don't know.
It's constant and so bad.
I've seen that one of the American version, I suspect is this one, has replaced the original music with music of a, let's say, composer, American one. And it's awful, it's omnipresent.
Yes.
the songs are completely forgettable. You
Yes,
forget as you're listening to them.
The Titanic knockoff is insane because.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Even before it decreases to have dialogue over it, so that there's nothing mixing with it, we just come into it and it's like.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, wait, what?
What was the line she was repeating in broken English?
Yeah.
One for me happy. One for me. It just is like.
It's confusing because you're like, wait.
No other man in my heart. No other man in my heart. And so only happy will be. And so only happy will be. And so only happy will be.
What? It's like friggin' Stewart from Mad TV. Look what I can do.
Yeah.
Where were you? I was in the back playing cards. You let my son play cards?
Yeah, we're real naughty here.
Because you feel like something's happening to your brain, and you're trying to lean in. Like, wait, are they not saying words, or are they saying really lowly?
The low tones, the apparent
quietly?
repeaters.
I'm responsible for how the animals behave on this me. I'm responsible for how the animals behave on this me. On this me. On this me. On this me.
Sometimes the total absence of words.
Yes.
There are actual people pointing and talking, and you don't hear.
Families. This was theatrical. If only we had an in-camera theater. Families sat through this. That's not even a joke.
I don't know if they sat through the whole thing.
Can you imagine you sit
You're on
down
your own, kid.
for a professionally animated
Find a
movie
way
you
home.
paid for,
but also-
and this starts playing?
Can you imagine a family? Kids, I know you're bored, but wait for a second. The Titanic is about to hit an iceberg. Everybody's gonna die. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
It's gonna
thank
be
God.
so great.
All of these singing, dancing animals will soon be dead.
How the hell do you sell this also to your kids? Because it really makes no sense
I
whatsoever.
mean, I think it's just, once again, of course, just the sell the cover face value.
Yes.
It's an animated adventure with talking animals.
Tell me, do you know? Do you really know? Do you know it, yes or no? Is it yes or is it no? Do you know who I really am?
Oh my God, actually ties into Titanic. That was a popular movie. It just happened. It has had a huge cultural moment. Let's go check that out.
Honey, Titanic just had a huge cultural moment, and we're not doing anything on Saturday. It makes me think again, like there's some guy out there on the internet being like, man, James Cameron's Titanic sucks. And you see something like this, and you're like, we have to take that ability off the board. We can no longer say a movie like Titanic can ever, you can't have, it's illegal to have that opinion now.
We're gonna make it, Rose! Trust me!
I trust you!
You simply say, I didn't care for it, but it is a masterwork of craft.
We live in a world where this thing exists.
I have a whole life ahead of me.
All right.
We're saying things.
In the theater. Can you imagine? So, how long did it run? Several families went through this. Did they have this effect when they walked out? Like, what was that car ride home like?
Well, don't forget, it was a different time. Everything wasn't so oversaturated.
No one on earth would watch this and not recognize the tingling in their gut.
I mean, this is 20 years ago.
More than that.
Italy was still a third world country at the time.
Yes.
You guys were
Everything was
living
black
in
and
clay
white.
huts. They were happy for anything on the screen.
Moving cartoons. Oh my God, it's like the newspaper, but they move.
Why is your microphone? Say something.
Hey, it's me, Jason Ellsworth of MaJaMa.
So, people in the theater.
I just can't imagine. You think you probably have just seen a poster. Maybe you're like, this will be something good to do with the kids, although at the base core, a Titanic cartoon seems weird. And
That's
you sit
the thing.
down, and this starts playing.
Is there a trailer?
And you start thinking about the choices you
I'm
made
sure
in
there
life.
No, but
No joke. Picture you're the adult. and you bring your kids, and you're already kind of like, all right, it's for them, and then this starts playing, and you are just like, Jesus Christ, what is happening?
I've already torn all my skin off. What am I going to do now?
This. People spent money on this. They bought popcorn to eat during this.
Do you know it, yes or no? Is it yes or is it no? Do you know who I really am? I'm the boss, and I command, I direct the band. Better stop it if you're breathing. This is here, it's time for freezing, cause instead of being a hero, you know, you might become a zero.
This is because I really would love to know the thought process of a family deciding to take the kids to see a Titanic movie.
Or even having kids in the first place.
That's beside that, yes. But saying, hey kids, let's go see.
You're the one that wanted these things. This Titanic movie, strike number 2.
We now return to
MaJaMa. Whispering words to me that I should say and say before.
We need a steersman.
Can't thou feel?
Hurry, get in the boat.
I volunteer.
Are you a sailor? I am a yachtsman. Then get down to that boat as quick as you can.
Go on, steersman, get in. Women and children, come on, come on!
Out of the way.
I can't. Well, like you said, you asked if you would enjoy this when you were young, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Did you
there's
watch
enough
this as a child?
base level animal action, but
Whoa.
I'm trying to genuinely ask myself if a kid would have any sort of a good time with this, and be fair and not just be snarky for the internet show. Like, there's a lot of animal action. Like, would a kid, like maybe a 3-year-old, like, who the f*** is this
They might
for?
enjoy the Speedy Gonzales song.
No se olvidará.
There's a rapping dog.
But that's,
in the 1920s?
Yeah.
Hip hop didn't even exist.
That is also the thing that I find puzzling, is that they try to have it all. If you go see, like we were talking about Anastasia, or maybe,
Alive?
Yes, or maybe Titan AE, or
Similar style, at least in.
You would have.
You know what I mean? Similar style in how they're trying to make them aesthetic.
You would have a story. You don't expect slapstick or exaggerated goofiness. In Anastasia or as a, I mean, something but not gigantic. And if you have it, like for instance, I was thinking of the chef from The Little Mermaid, that is pure slapstick and all the incidents.
You had a very long flashback of that chef. I think a second just to remember.
They replayed the entire scene. When the chef gets
had the
yes,
time.
They
there is
throw
there
whiskey
is
in the chef and he
there
gets
are
set on fire.
two or three flashbacks in the movie, just like to stretch the time, I guess.
No,
but that is the thing.
I'm gonna blow my nose quick.
Please
don't leave this in.
You said don't.
I didn't hear what he said. He said do leave it in.
I think he said do leave it in.
Okay.
Which is something he says a lot.
Yeah.
All right, cut. I mean, shoot, play.
We don't know.
What is it called?
Resume.
Action.
Titanic has a certain lack of immediacy because it happened so long ago, and there wasn't live images burned into our brain. So I understand there's a bit of a jump. It seems more horrific, but I think what's off at the core is my not even joke. This is odd because it's like, hey, there's a new animated 9/11 movie for the family.
Yeah.
I know, you're right. But I'm in no mood to enjoy myself.
Because, again, Titanic seems less visceral, but that's just the time period and not having those awful images of the building going down. But that's what it is.
Well, it was also an accident versus a terrorist attack. I mean, unless you consider the iceberg a terrorist, if they had it planned.
True.
Why did they make the iceberg anthropomorphic?
Oh my God, can you imagine? Then I would have given it an A+.
Like some sort of
I
ice,
would have saluted it for
some sort of ice beam.
Oh, monsieur, the ship is coming to me. It's time to take it down.
Why is the Heisler French?
We had a Frenchman. We had a friggin'... Okay, this was released in Italy. Why is there a long track of a Spanish song?
Is Mexico close to Italy?
Not really.
You guys have Spaniards there?
We have Spain.
Well, it's close to Spain, yes.
Spain is closer.
In case they come over, put a song in for them. It's going to be drawing crowds left and right.
I don't, because while I can say no, because clearly the dog is dressed as a rapper, he has also a boombox, I think, at a certain point.
Does he?
When he's walking.
I think we imagined it.
Probably. It's the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
But it's clearly a rap, so I'm pretty sure that the Italian song was also a rap.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Oh,
to
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Non si muove alcuna foglia se di frizz non c'è la voglia. Chi da solo va in affanno, solo lo fa a proprio danno. E a noi danno fanno inganno, ma noi facciamo dentro il mare questa gita particolare. Ireare, festeggiare, tu! Tu! Sì.
It's the Paula Abdul Cat video.
Yes, but the thing is that the mice...
Watching Titanic and the Paul Abdul video all week. Let me pitch you something.
The mice clearly are Mexican, so clearly that song was, even in the Italian version, some sort of a Mexican ballad, whatever it is.
It's head scratching.
Yes.
Why? And it's not even just like a line; it's like a song.
Yeah, it's a whole song.
So it's as if an American cartoon stopped to have a song in Italian.
Yeah.
I don't get any of this. Think of other examples. And you may say, well, Jason, this is also a business model. But I understand the Asylum, Schlockbusters, quick little whatever, knockoffs, monster action. I get even the cell phone seems like just a knockoff zero-budget thriller. This is just so weird and unpleasant. And
how does the Mexican mice wind up in Europe to take down the Titanic to go back to...
Yeah.
What's with the costumes, guys? We've been on tour, senor. And cannot wait to get home, eh, muchachos?
Estoy decent bola, Chile.
Mind if I join you?
do you think it literally, that choice exists because Speedy Gonzalez does?
Hello, pussycats.
So, you're gonna pull my tail out by the roots, eh? Okay, here, just try it.
Here's your tail, pussycats.
Yes.
Yes, but why?
It was in the poster.
Yes.
One of the mice.
Why
is in the...
shoot? Plus, I think old Speedy cartoons have those characters, or at least
Yes.
look like characters, as his friends.
There are times on this show when I want to go beyond the comedy of something and actually find out, and I would give anything to interview someone who saw this in the theater without knowing what was happening. I would give anything for a guy to walk through that door who took his family to see this 20 years ago.
Better stop it if you're breathing fists here. It's time for reason, cause instead of being a hero, you know, you might become a zero. It's no confusion, no illusion. Out on the sea, it's so amusing. A spaceship trip, so we visit.
And just imagine this stuff's on screen, and you're like, no, this isn't. This ought to be like an introductory cartoon or something.
I mean, I think it's also, as a parent, you watch cartoons constantly and got awful production, so I think you're used to it. I think we're looking at the perspective of someone in 2000 and whatever year it currently is, and we've had so many movies that cater to such a wide net of adults, man babies, kids, and it just Pixar, Disney can cast a wide net over their audience, that there's always something for you to, I mean, sometimes it's the the core demographic is 20-something, 30-something-year-old people for cartoon or animated films, even something like a kid's story or a Pixar movie. So I think we're just looking at it with a different lens, when the landscape was probably just, this stuff was just thrown out all the time.
You can't go through this way. Don't force me to resort to violence.
I mean, this is particularly
Still,
badly
this is
executed.
6 years after Toy Story.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, it comes down to the age-old question
It was
of
in Italian
why,
theaters, not American theaters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why did you want to do something so out of your means?
That's the question you could be asking every single filmmaker for the rest of your life.
True, but here, because, again, even Asylum movie seems to run on its own, like you expect the cheap effects, but here is just completely flopping all over yourself as you have no ability to do proper animation. Just, I mean, if you had told me that there was not a theatrical release and that someone had to unearth this from a landmine like it was an E.T. Atari game, then I would understand more. The fact that this got a theatrical release blows my mind to smithereens, because I don't know if there's a person so removed from the experience of what a movie is supposed to be like that the stench of incompetence doesn't slap them in the face the second they put this on.
Here you are. Let's hope it's a smooth crossing.
I don't know if the human exists that can't pick up on the glaring errors, and it just seems so... Like, who's messaging a cell phone for? I can picture a family being like, oh, is Blockbuster this? They were disappointed with that. I know the people that watch asylum movies. They're weird as hell. Why do they like them? But I know them. So, who
put message in a cell phone in the stack? Bobby?
Who is this? For?
No, but also...
I mean, it tells a compelling story.
Sure. There are movies like there was computer animated knockoff of Cars. There is one of Ratatouille.
The actual secret ingredient that can be found in all of the food prepared here is lots of...
Come on, out with it!
Lots and lots and lots of...
With lots of?
With lots and lots and lots of...
This guy is just driving me crazy.
The dishes are prepared with the secret ingredient of a lot of dedication and care.
Oh, I just knew he was going to say that.
I'm sure it didn't take them 3 years to make them.
Yeah.
Probably taken 3 months at best.
That's also part of the puzzle.
That's also newer technology, though.
Yes.
No, but like you said, Toy Story had been out for...
Yeah, but Toy Story was pretty revolutionary for its time, too.
No, definitely. And I understand it. I mean, it's I don't want to draw a comparison.
I mean, please.
But... But Beauty and the Beast is, 1992?
Oh,
no, he's right. He's right. 3 years is the thing. Hey, this was done in about a month. They got it out. They wanted to turn a profit off Titanic. It never saw the light of day. I get it. 3 years means this was labored, toiled over, as if it was a passionate project.
That you can't say that because it's animation. Animation is god-awful.
Yeah.
The wildebeest stampede scene from Lion King took like 4 years to animate. Just that
Yes,
scene alone.
but at least
yes,
here there is
you see the payoff for that.
The Titanic is sinking, and there is not a single person in the corridors or something.
Dude, that's the thing. You have it's your commentary on animated sitcoms where you're like, okay, you're a cartoon. Why are you just doing a classic family sitcom? Why don't you just have someone flying to the moon or jumping through the wall or something like that? Actually, make use of your medium. Where this is just, it's so blank and stark and bare and just.
And when there is an attempt at goofiness or comedy, physical comedy, it falls flat because they don't know how to make it, how to animate it, how to give the weight of the characters.
And stretched so thin, probably because you're trying to figure out how to animate that.
Yeah.
Why is this sequence like this? Well, I was trying to figure out how to do it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just leave it in. We got to run a schedule here.
Did you figure it out?
No.
Okay, it's in the movie.
I'll get the next one. All right, so, well, let's talk a little bit about our story. We have Claire
Huxtable
as the redhead girl who's poor.
No, she's Angelica.
Angelica. Is it?
I think so.
Angelica, and she's poor and she's looking for her mom. She has a locket that has her mom's picture in it, and she
loses her locket.
Yeah, she loses her locket right before boarding, and Gaston, the French scumbag,
thief,
takes it and gives it to the big titty woman who's singing in the lounge, in the shower too. Yeah, they don't go. They don't care. Those things are just out there.
Yeah. The Wikipedia page said one review said it was not appropriate for children.
Which part?
No, I sincerely hope not. Thank you.
So she's looking for a locket. She tells the animals to help look for her locket. The little mouse, Fievel, is hell-bent on finding this locket for her. They easily get it back and give it to her. There's not like a big deal like when Gaston sees it and tries to
Nothing
get it
is
back.
a big deal. Everything is resolved.
And it happens to be on the same lifeboat with two other people.
Well, let's find out.
Well, let's find out.
Wait, one of which is her actual mom, who recognizes the locket and says, "Hey, that's me."
Is that locket yours?
Yes, it's always been mine.
Do you still have a picture in the locket?
Yes.
We now return to MaJaMa.
Ever since my mother put it around my neck as a baby. And then left me.
And then left you because she was forced to. Gertrude seemed so nice. Told us we could get you whenever we wanted. But she vanished. Left no address. All your father had was an account number to pay your support money into.
Mother? Mommy! Oh, Mommy!
Baby.
One of which is her actual mom, who recognizes the locket and says, "Hey, that's me. Your godmother said she would take care of you so we can go on vacation, but then she never gave you back and she ran away." And she repeats it twice.
I hope you understand that neither I nor your father wanted to give you up, but we had to. And Gertrude seemed so nice. She told us we could come and get you whenever we wanted to.
Yes?
She repeats the same line twice after the fact.
Can you imagine that Lando at the end of Rise of Skywalker says, "Well, let's find out," and it cuts to him plowing into her, and a guy running in, "She's your daughter! She's your daughter!"
The only way to
be the
find
first
out
time.
is to birth a child. When we see how deformed it is, then we can make an assessment.
Well, it looks like it's another waterhead. How many of these things do I have to pop out before I realize to stop screwing my daughters? Colt 45 makes all the pain go down that
That's
easier.
how the Jawas were born.
All the Jawas and Landos illegitimate deformed kids. They started their own culture.
Little freak.
That's why they were the hoods. Why their eyes glow?
I don't know, kid.
Why don't we find out?
You ever see
Don't screw the kids!
Then there's William, the rich guy who meets Anastasia. No, Anastasia.
My question is, do you think
Angelica.
someone literally went, wait, Titanic is boy poor, girl rich,
Yeah.
They pull a Ghostbusters.
Oh, yes.
And
But it's like you blatantly ripping off Lady and the Tramp, Pongo and Purdy. She's pregnant with Dalmatians. You have
but
Horace and Jasper.
cleverly, these two Dalmatians are completely white underneath it because
And they have like big brown spots in their back.
because spots are too long
Yes.
to draw.
You know, on the positive side, if you're like a
It's
12,
short.
That side is bare.
70 minutes, but I was going to say if you're like a 12-year-old Italian boy who's ready to whack it to some cartoon titties, this is probably like the greatest movie ever. Like if you're 12 years old and your parents like, "Hey, we're going to go out to opera for the night. We're going to leave you with Titanic, The Legend Continues." It's like you're going to be grabbing Costco-sized boxes of Kleenex and get ready. Oh, God! Mom, don't ever come back!
Fun things to watch in this movie are the.
So the scene I just remembered, where the woman is desperately grasping onto the lifeboat, trying to get on it, and they do the classic cartoon thing of walking on her.
Plus, like, why is the lifeboat so far away from the deck?
I just realized that's the complete, perfect nucleus to show, what are you doing? The ship is sinking based on one of our real-life historical tragedies, and you decide to have one of the old women cling on and then get walked on. That's like I said, you're doing a 9/11 movie, and you're like, we gotta get out of the building. Oh, we're walking on top of her head. Oh, wah, wah, wah. Like, what? What the hell are you doing? Who came up with this? Who's responsible?
A gentleman by the name of, I think, Camillo Tatti, I think. He is an Italian producer, and among the other things, he produced the two movies, Killer Crocodile.
Up we go! Up we go! Everything beyond
What's happening? Hey, what happened?
With the son of Richard Crenna, Colonel Troutman from Rambo.
Don't worry, project's gonna be aces. I got signed on the son of Colonel Troutman for Rambo.
That's not an ordinary crocodile. It's probably the only one of its kind.
They built this gigantic crocodile pretty much in metal, so it couldn't move whatsoever. It's just like it glides on the surface and doesn't do much because they couldn't actually move it because it was 6 tons
Well,
or something.
if you're telling me the gentleman behind Titanic, The Legend Continues, made a crocodile movie, then I feel like we got to watch that goddamn crocodile movie.
Both of them.
There's a sequel?
Yeah. Crocodile and Crocodile 2.
Oh, we saw Crocodile.
Killer Crocodile, I'm sorry. We saw Alligator.
Oh, God.
Alligator is fun. Is good fun. Killer Crocodile, not so much, but whatever. It's kind of baffling.
I guess they tried to make it so that everyone we met at least survived, and then just the
No, I mean, I think everyone survived. Although you have the singer and the band playing as the boat's
And we don't
cracking
see what's
into...
happening.
Whispering words to me that I should say and say before.
We need a steersman!
Can't thou feel?
Hurry, get in the boat!
And it also sounds so much more stupider when you have someone singing vocals as the ship is singing, as opposed to the band just kind of playing. But like at this point, the deck is cracking in half. Everyone's sliding down. They're still performing, and they don't see what happens to them.
It's like Madeleine Kahn in... And also there's this mysterious scene, not that it makes sense at the point that logic has gone. The lifeboats are gliding across the sea, and all of a sudden, from underwater, the hand of William came up and grabs the detective.
His hair and rips it off.
Yes. And he's
yeah.
like, was he underwater all this time?
Yeah.
Is it pulling a Jason Voorhees or something? Because it's not explained how he managed to survive.
Plus, he first escapes with a kid. They take the kid, and he's like, "Oh, screw you! Just stay in the water."
Yes, no, because he's tied. There is a rope around his ankle.
Getting sucked in.
And it's funny that he say,
Chin up. We've made it.
In a water with icebergs.
Yeah.
Well,
also, I understand we're not exactly trying to plow through realistically, but not a single person is frigid from being in that water.
No, exactly, yes.
Well, yeah, but he, like Mateo was saying, he's literally underwater when he grabs the detective's hair.
Let me handle this.
Wow!
Hair. No, not the hair. Not the hair. Please.
Get that hand off the boat! We're turning over! Throw him back in the water!
And there's that one guy they first find who's, I guess they think is him, and they bring him on board. Oh, the
detective who's always using disguises. And then the best part was a little bit of foreshadowing at the beginning.
Oh, my God.
The guy who gives the...
Oh, Angelica, you really are hopeless.
Here you are. Let's hope it's a smooth crossing.
Hopefully you all get there safe.
Yes.
Let's hope it's a smooth crossing.
As if to say, hey, I know we're in a movie and this boat is gonna...
You're doomed!
Shut up, Ralph.
You're doomed.
I am baffled, puzzled, but I should tell you guys that this is one of the best times we ever had on Jams. There was, as awful as this was, there was no translation to it being boring. Like, I think messaging his cell phone at the end was, no, this was great. As terrible as it was, I think this is the laugh quotient. The laugh quotient for us here was very, very,
the
very
silent
high.
parts where nothing's happening and people's faces are just melting onto the floor. And you're like, why are you going through
No,
it?
the worst part is when William goes sitting down on the chair, that it takes forever to get there.
Everything is like, let's pan.
It was to say we called attention to that, and it was terrible. But yeah.
Anything else? Characterless plots?
Well, we clearly can all together now at the count of 3 sing the most memorable song that it was sung in the ballroom. 1, 2, 3.
Cowboys don't die.
Okay.
Let's hope it's a smooth crossing.
Let's express our feelings by throwing pieces of paper. And there we go. I am giving this a full out of 5. I should maybe take off a point because of how much I genuinely had fun with you guys watching this. It may be the best bad watch of all time, but I'm so in shock at the incompetency, I'm leaving it at a full 5 because, wow.
I go with 4.5 because 5 fingers. They had the 5 fingers. They always.
I guess he's in a production like this that is impressive.
It is.
Which is the funniest thing that's ever been said.
I'm going with 5.
So you got any feedback on the rough cut of my movie? Everyone had 5 fingers?
Because of how the 5 fingers looked.
Okay.
5 for 5.
$5.
$5.
$5.
$5 foot long.
5.
MaJaMa.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us for the breakdown of what is quite possibly, if not the worst, the most baffling movie of all time. I sure had a blast. Mateo, was this available on YouTube?
Yes.
Both versions of the 6 versions of it?
No, there is a horrible version. The 2 copies of the same version. One is very horrible, and one is from film clips, I think.
Well, if you guys can find Titanic: The Legend Continues on YouTube, I actually do recommend it. Probably not solo.
No,
but
it's a collective
with a
vision.
group of friends, maybe some intoxicants, some snacks, and a good, ready-to-chuckle attitude. It was actually pretty great, but wow. Again, wow. Check it out for yourself. This final question for the episode. Maybe different criteria, but is this better or worse than Food Fight? That's the tough one we're going to close on.
Food Fight is really scary. Really creepy, really scary.
It's almost okay.
As much as this was
aesthetically, Food Fight takes it because I don't know if I've ever seen anything other than The Amazing Bulk, anything as ugly as Food Fight.
Oh, I'll make space.
But as far as this,
it has a
at least
gun to your head, you got to rewatch 1. Probably gonna be this one, right? Because Food Fight doesn't have the same. So bad as
it's funny enough. You can't laugh as much as Food Fight.
Yeah.
You just kind of
Food Fight.
uncomfortable.
You appreciate at least the bare bone concept of saying this word.
Yes, it's
of,
wacky. It's fun.
The
food.
Yes,
it's wacky and fun.
Mascot, food mascot, and not only food mascot because there is Mr. Clean, and there are a lot of other characters.
Are we going to be the first one to have a review of this PLS? Are we going to be the first one to actually have a review up of this Titanic thing?
No, I'm sure somebody has spoken about it.
We're the first ones of cell phone, though, I think.
Hooray.
Mom?
Guess what? We did it.
We're the only ones on YouTube to review message in a cell phone.
Slow down. You did a what on YouTube?
You have a job yet? All right, guys. Wait, I'm sorry. So, final answer: this or fast food? Fast food. Food Fight.
I'm just gonna kill myself. Is that an option?
Mateo, if you had to pick, I just want someone to give me a pick.
If there's a gun to my head, a gun.
I would love to see this one in Italian, the original version, to see if
there's any type of
so much of the lines dialogue sounds like literal translation without any sort of let's craft this to sound like English.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm too curious to see what the hell they were talking about.
So, homework. You guys watch Food Fight, then this, then write to MaJaMa about which was more terrible. Guys, this is exactly everything I wanted the show to be. I hope you had some laughs watching this with us. We will be back next week, as usual, with an all-new Jams, and that was Titanic. Holy...
The legend continues.
Doing like the characters when they don't talk with their mouth open.
It was just not saying the F word. That was great.
Yep.
MaJaMa.
This won't do any good. It's the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life.